Yumi, welcome! Congrats on being first. Welcome me. How are you doing? Also, welcome in, Ironari Van. Welcome me. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the lurky. Happy lurky. Also, I'd apologize for beginning so late today, but I still had to eat. So yeah, also today I'm extra head empty, I believe. So I may be a bit slow with the brain, so but yeah, we can do it. We can do it, most certainly, most definitely, I think. Boo. Hello. Wait, why is the counter already going? Give me a sec, I need to refresh. Okay, not a disaster stream. This is not a disaster stream. Hello, Floppies. Good day, good time zone. Even though you have to beat up the John time zone. Welcome in, Yumi. Welcome in. How are you doing, sweetie? Today is day 18 of SUBATHON. And even though the sub goal is stating otherwise, because I no longer know how to use it. We're at 38 subs, and with the next one, you're gonna unlock a tiny little goal. Actually, not this tiny, I think it's a nice one. Like, you would have me publish a little video where I do thank all the supporters and whatnot. Also, in 2 subs, however, the last contributor will get to spin the spinning wheel, the wheel that does spin. Since each 5 subs, we get to spin the wheel. And I'm pretty sure I did not update the the text of the SUBATHON here upon the stream. I'm so sorry. As I said, I'm more head empty than usual. No, wait. Usually, I'm not even head empty, so it's a big disaster today. Give me a sec to adjust it. Okay, perfect. Nothing ever happened. I was ready for the stream. Yes. Today we're going to play the demo of Crimson Waves on the Emerald Sea Amarantine Moon. That is the sequel, but not necessarily connected to the previous title by Crystal Gameworks. By the way, the developer is the one that is behind the Otome Game Celebration event. Here you can check out the game. I also did a sample of their links if you want to check out their work, updates on the games, and whatnot. At least X, even though they're pretty much... they were inactive over there before the event. And they are more present on Blue Sky from what I do know. Also, the same developer does have another visual novel that is upcoming that I will not be able to cover today, but eventually I'm gonna take a look at it. It's a boys love visual novel where we get to kill the people from a sect or something. So it seems like there's a lot of sex stuff going on. And also today we're going to investigate the abrupt death of our partner, it seems, in this game. And basically, we were working on a cure against vampirism, and in this Otome game, we'll be able to choose whether to play as a human or a vampire. I'm very excited about it. I already saw the trailer, at least a tiny bit of it. I usually don't even watch the trailers of the games. I just don't want anything spoiled coming to the games that I do pick. But the art is so pretty in this game. I'm really looking forward to it. So, let's see. Once again, it's gonna be a bit of a disaster coming to the sound levels. Give me a few so we can adjust them properly. Is that fine, or I think I should bump it a bit on your side? Maybe like this? Okay, I think we can keep it this way. If you do have advice coming to the audio levels, whether I should bump it or lower it, please do let me know. It does help a lot. Also, today is bad allergies day, so... the fox is doing her best, as always. I'm really excited and curious about this title. Look at the art, so pretty. Wait, I want to place it on full screen. Okay. Oi! Where's the cursor? Why did it disappear? No! Jesus Christ. We can do a Gyepi. Or can we? I'm starting to doubt it. The cursor is not visible, but it is there. Okay, there we go. It begins. I've always wondered how slow time feels for adult vampires. For the fleeting time I was a vampire as a child, it was like a never-ending summer afternoon. Some days I could play the day away with no heat for the time. I could explore every room in the manor thrice over, running from every corner to the next. Other days, the hours slinked by, every second dripping by slower than the last. Even the shades couldn't shield the manor from the oppressively sticky heat of summer. Every step felt slower than the last. But for adults, is it that same feeling of being stuck indoors during the longest summer day of the year? Or is it more akin to sitting in a backed-up doctor's office, or watching the fire crackle during the first snow of the year, or waiting on a train that's forever delayed? I like the graphics, or like the box that does hold the text. Even though it is bothering me slightly that while the new text does appear, the rest does like kind of flicker, does that little transition. It is a bit distracting to me. Wait, I just realized, why are you not seeing the game? Give me a sec, what happened here? Oh my gosh. Let me adjust it. Okay. My bad. I think my internet too is very slow. You should be seeing it properly. I'm sorry, we can do it. We can do it, I promise. Give me a sec. I just see things here on my side. I don't know why today my Wi-Fi is so slow. That was strange to be stuck with the previous window there. Give me a second to reconnect to chat and I'll be back to you. A giant disaster stream it is. Poor Foxy. Always doing her best. Not a disaster stream every single day, is what she has to shout. Okay. Or is it more akin to sitting in a bucket up doctor's office, or watching the fair crackle during the first snow of the year, or waiting on a train that's forever delayed? It's annoyingly introspective thoughts like this that creep their way in, as I have nothing to do but watch the grandfather clock tick closer and closer to the half-hour mark. A whole half-hour, I sat here, waiting for nobody apparently. All the cordial letters and handcrafted jam samples I'd been sent were a sham, were a prank. Once we agreed to meet in person to finalize the business proposal, he hightailed it elsewhere. I clenched the body of my dress. The clock chimes in mockery of me. Not even a siren has so much as entered the room or hallway to inform me of this tardiness. As the grandfather clock's chime echoes in the room, I glance outside. The day is almost over, but there's still some daylight left. Time better spent outside than in here. I ease my shoulders, promptly standing, and I leave. So pretty! Look at her! The nerve of him, to gush about how interested he was in my business proposition, to boast about how perfectly handcrafted his gems were, only to stand me up. If another letter from him arrives, I'm tossing it in the fireplace. I touch down an alleyway, not wanting to hit the crowds walking down the main street in the broad daylight. At this time of day, the sun feels its brightest and most headache-inducing. The back alleys, however, are always a pleasant source of shade in an area of town devoid of trees. The shade is perfect on a hotter day like this. But they're also perfect for hiding people. Lucy. A darkened figure tugs along about a block's length from me. I skip to another alley. He follows. I press against the wall as I pass by a few workers in another alley, turning at an intersection while I'm obscured behind them. He still follows. A stalker! I have to do something more drastic. I double back to the first alley, making a long circle, well, square, together without running into him. The stairwell of the building juts out just enough to hide myself with, so I lay in wait there for my pursuer. No one appears from around the corner. Maybe he gave up already. I like the giant ribbon. The hair is also so fluffy. I lean forward to look down the alleyway, but something tugs on my hair ribbon. Hey! Nemo? What do you think you're doing? Giving chase? Looks more like you're running around and up to no good. You're no fun. Is that a childhood friend? But we're doing out so early. I wanted to check on things and nobody was around. I skip past him. Hey! His eye color is so pretty. Come on, I want dinner. He didn't show up, did he? He must have thought he was too good for my offer. He'll see he can get far without help. I grit my teeth. I can feel Nemo looking at me with pity. Alright, let's go home. I turned back to grab his arm, but instead I met with a hand pushing down my head. Hey! After he was a no-show, you'll find a better fit soon. Just don't try to rush these things. It's not like I'm going to kick you out. You don't even own the place, you moocher. I'm not a moocher, what's his is mine. That's how marriage goes. For someone who avoided commitment like the boogeyman, he sure is bragging about it a lot now. Now, come on, let's go home. He lends me an arm, leading us out of the alley. The floorboards creak underneath our feet as we step down the hallway to our flat. Darkened wood lines every wall, making the space feel shades darker than it actually is. Hi, Toto! Welcome in! How are you doing? We're staying comfy today. Taking it easy. Most of the other residents should be home by now, winding down for the day. But more so than the sounds of our footsteps, the melody of a violin permeates through the hall. It's soft and cautious, each note more colorful than the last. You can practically imagine someone reading from sheet music while playing the notes. There's something a bit relaxing about it, not overwhelmingly loud, but rather something that's rusted into the background. The piece echoes through the walls, making it hard to tell where it's coming from. As we near our own flat, too, the notes stop. I said to myself that we won't be able to hear it at dinner. Oh. Who this? I'm Bruce. I'm sorry to hear about that. I've heard so many good things about him. He's the jeweler who made my breech and cravat after all. Maybe something urgent came up? I'm sure you'll hear from him in the next day or two. Sisu, how dare he? Sending all those butcher letters only to stand you up. You act like it was a marriage proposal. It's a serious crime, that's what it is. It's not that either. It's a nuisance. I set the pork chop on my plate. They're all suddenly more interested in eating their own meals. The food is rather good, thanks partially to the cooking class Ambrose is taking, but it just doesn't sit well on me. Not tonight. I eat quickly, leaving a little under half of it, stay on the plate before heading to my room. Moonlight slinks through the blinds and across the floorboards. It bounced off of my mirror just right to hit my eyes. I must have fallen asleep right after dinner. I don't usually take naps so late in the day. I push myself up on my bed, rubbing my eyes. It might be nighttime now, but I don't think I was asleep for very long. I can hear noises from the other room. So Nemo and Ambrose are still awake. Something on my nightstand glints out of the corner of my eye. It's my bottle of pills. A modern marvel of medicine. To some and inexpensive hooks to others, emeralds refined to the size of a pill have been found to be a cure for vampirism, effectively negating a vampire's heightened abilities and their dependence on blood. At just the right size, they can be digested and dissolved into a person's body. Any larger, and they can be poisonous to vampires who are weak to precious gems. Taking pills regularly can turn any person, no matter how long they've been a vampire, back into a human. But only if they keep up the intake on a regular basis. While they're not a perfect cure and are rather expensive to acquire at a small scale, they're an effective one. I haven't had to drink blood in years, but I also hadn't had the use of my heightened physical abilities in years. Look, I don't care what you do as an adult. If you want to be a vampire, then fine. But I want you to wait until you're old enough to make the decision before all of your friends start aging faster than you. I'm turning 18 this month. I'm old enough to make my own decisions. I don't need my brother to keep looking out for me. Oh, so it's our brother. Okay. I take the pill or don't take the pill? Flappies, do we go back to being a vampire or try to become a human? Like, to me, if we take the pill and try to be a human, like, it feels a bit more laid back, maybe. But it also piques my curiosity a lot what happens if we don't take it. If we turn to a vampire. What's gonna happen? I'm so undecided. I think for now I'm gonna take it. Let's take it. Oh, this is just so pretty. It's animated! Oi! Mr. Pope! And what is that for? Welcoming! I screwed it up and dropped a tiny emerald pill into my palm. It's small enough to go inside the ring. Instead, I pop it into my mouth. I may have been a vampire for a brief time, but I'm fine staying human for a little while longer. I'm not ready to age slower than everyone else just yet. I take one last glance at the bottles as they stand. There are many people still skeptical about the treatment, but Mr. Douglas was fascinated by it. Precious gems have long been a dangerous poison for vampires despite their staying power in ornate jewelry. The thought of using them for medicinal purposes rather than for looks or for harm intrigued him. Or so I thought. Him staying me up today was the final nail in that coffin. I shouldn't spend the rest of the early night hours sleeping, or else I'll mess up my sleep schedule.
Nemo and Ambrose are in the parlor, as I figured. Nemo has hugged all of the candles and minimal lights, and looks deep in concentration of fixing the radio. Despite the low lighting he's left with, Ambrose is reading the newspaper. With his vampiric side, he doesn't have the strength to read it. Still, I don't want to be there, third wheel, the rest of the night. I step out and on the balcony. And go on the balcony? Oh, I didn't see you were out here. No, it's alright. Cecil scrambles to his feet, eager to get up off of the concrete floor. So, how are you doing? How do you think I'm doing? I can't believe that, man. Standing you up like that. We ought to tarnish his name. He'll tarnish it himself in due time, acting like that. And besides, I'm not sure how you awful people would even go about doing something like that. I'll find someone else to work with on it. Maybe I'll reach out to doctors, again, to gain more public approval before reaching out to manufacturers. I'm sure you can, Lucy. And besides, you can always make Nemo chase after new leads. I think he'd chase them off more than help. He has enough work to do around campus, but he's insistent on going with me to every business meeting, party, and more. I can tell if he fancies himself my bodyguard or my chaperone. It's not even his family business. So, speaking of which, you'll be dealing with all of this soon enough. Huh? Do you think your family never has to renegotiate anything? That their mining privileges are set in stone, that their workers never ask for pay increases or more benefits? That their merchant deals are lifelong? Soon you'll be going, oh Lucy, how did you handle all of this? You're so brave to start so young. I already say that. He halves, turning back to the night sky. For the past few years, he's had little contact with his parents. No more than greeting cards and letters he's forced to write to them just to show he's alive. Instead of living at their manor several hours away by train, he's lived here to attend school at the kindness of Ambrose. Most of our classes are together, as we're both focusing on business so we can take on our family's companies. And yet, sometimes it feels like it's hard to get a proper answer out of him when I inquire about his plans for the future. Chin up, you'll get to shadow local business soon enough. You're lucky you don't have to do that. I've got plenty of real-world experience. They only let me count it towards classwork, rather than letting me finish school early too. Lucy. His voice is small and short, cutting off his own words almost as quickly as they left him. What is it? Nothing. I reach over and pinch his ear. Oh! It's nothing if it came to you, so spit it out. It was just a bit dull, but I was wondering if this is what you really want to do. Again, his words drift off the longer he talks. It is. I had to live off of others' generosity for too long. People who think they owe it to my parents to keep me safe. I want to forge my own path going forward. I want to prove I can be on my own. Then what does that say about me? Huh? I'm sure you'll find a good business partner before long, Lucy. After a moment, it's clear he intends to leave this conversation at that. The Sales family is from newer money, having made their living from mining operations for precious gems. While his ancestors may have sweated it out in the mines, the current generations live by signing deals with property owners, negotiating labor work, refining the gems, and more. The idea of an opportunity has not been lost on me. Every time I bring it up or even mention it, however, he lets the conversation drop. At least it's a nice night out here, isn't it?
Feed Baba Fox, give me a food unit. Welcome, how are you doing, sweetie? Thank you for the daily chicken. 18 chicken. Thank you.
I match his gaze. Far beyond the rooftops, stars dot the sky above us. They shine back at us vibrantly, almost twinkling. I don't want to be so dependent on others anymore. I just want to build something myself.
Headband swap. Is it any better?
I hope it heals soon. For the prestige and respect they hold, the towering spires of Ūģeļu University do nothing to keep the sun from my eyes. The morning glare is so consistent and forceful that most students go out of their way to take the long way around to the east entrance to avoid it. You'd think this son could be more considerate and less intrusive, given the number of vampires working and learning on campus. As for Cecilia and myself, we often avoid the problem entirely by winning through the gardens and taking shortcuts that only make sense when you're setting out from the headmaster's apartment.
Are you not taking pills? Oh, I see.
How infuriating, I should be drafting contracts and celebrating now. A sigh escapes me, more a sign of exhaustion than anything I'm expecting out of the day ahead. My class will prove a moment's distraction at the very least. I need to keep my focus sharp and find another prospect quickly. In the future, once Cecil takes over his family's business, we can form a partnership and build a more secure chain of supply. There's no chance of that while his father's in control, unfortunately. If I recall correctly, M's family owns a series of retail establishments. I have no idea what business they're in exactly, but if he has some connections. Ambrose is also meeting with the university board soon, if I'm not mistaken. There are several prominent businessmen among the board, including at least 2 wholesalers and a renowned doctor. Perhaps I could convince Ambrose to arrange a meeting with at least one of them. Wait, Lucy! Cecile, what are you doing back there? That looks so different now. Well, to start, I saw that stray cat that's been wandering around campus lately. And then by the time I tried to get your attention, you'd gotten this far ahead of me. You know that cat won't pay you any mind no matter how many slices of roast chicken you leave out for it.
The chicken!
I wasn't trying to bribe it, I just wanted to show you, but you move so fast when you get lost in thought. I've not much choice in the matter, thanks to recent events. I'll have it sorted out swiftly enough. You definitely will. You'll have all the merchants in the city begin to partner with you before long. And someday, I'll be saying the same to you. This doesn't come as easily for me as it does for you, Lucy. He smiles, but I know him too well to leave it at that. He's been so unsure of himself lately, but Cecile's more than capable of keeping pace with me, even if he doubts it himself. He was up rather late last night, too. It's not often I see him so easily distracted either. I have to ask him about it later. Cecile has been my best friend since we were children, and he always rushes to support me, even when it puts him in danger. I only hope he isn't wearing himself ragged trying to keep up with me now. The university gardens are always immaculate. Students and professors alike meander through its hedges, rushing between classes or taking leisurely strolls. It's also haunted, if you believe the rumors spun from mistaken sightings of marble statues in the dead hours of the night. 5 years prior, a serious vampire attacks terrified the campus and kept most from venturing out after dark. I suppose classroom rumors are a sign of prior recovery from that incident. Instead of a ghost, however, I see a tall, pale face beneath the lilac blossoms. Good, I need to catch him before class begins.
Who dat?
Are you admiring the flowers, or have you been waiting for us here? Oh, Lucy. I've shared the class with Om for half a year now, and he saved both Cecile and I countless headaches in that time. For all the expertise and wisdom kept in these hallowed halls, most of our professors are dead set on explaining things in the most obtuse and unreasonable ways imaginable. Om has a keen talent for translating all of their theoretical jargon into a language anyone can grasp. His family has...
Oi! Thank you for the headbutt. Thank you for the headbutt. Thank you. Thank you for the headbutt. Thank you for the headbutt.
His family has several holdings in retail business outlets. So now that I think more on it, I don't know much about what they do or where their money comes from. It's easy to forget details like that when we talk. He always listens intently and he's consistently surprising. Even our professors with his insights. Not that you'd know from the detached air about him. No matter what the situation, Elm can always set someone at ease, most often I think by taking much of their unease onto himself. Do you have a moment before the professor arrives? I'd like to speak with you about... I'm sorry. His voice is so brutal. It's usually hard to read any of his expressions, but right now,
Oi! Thank you for the headbutt. Thank you for the headbutt. Thank you. Thank you for the headbutt. Thank you for the headbutt.
his voice is so brittle, it's usually hard to read any of his expressions, but right now he's clearly preoccupied. Not today. What? I'm not in a sound state today. Do you feel well? You'll look the part, no doubt. He shakes his head. Lucy, there's something I'll tell you later. Wait, just a minute now. Before I can ask him what's on his mind, he ducks into the classroom and makes his way to a desk.
Running away, I see.
Lucy, what was Elm saying? He seems out of sorts. I'm not sure. It's almost as if he was in shock. You don't think he's caught a summer cold, do you? I almost hope it's as simple as passing sickness, but I've never seen that heaviness in Elm's eyes before. Ah, the professor's on her way. Lucy, let's head inside. Yes. Elm trudges ahead and sits down in the back corner of the classroom, far from his usual seat near Cecile and I. Damn, I might not get another chance to speak with Elm until after class. Asking about his family business can wait. I won't leave one of my friends languishing like that. So I'll admit it's often hard to read his expressions. Maybe it would be a bad idea to press him on anything now, if he's feeling unwell. My nose wrinkles and I force myself to follow along with the professor's droning. Finding after class proved more troublesome than anticipated. He excused himself partway through the lecture, and never returned, and now I've not an inkling of where he might be. I doubt he's avoiding me in particular, but it does seem as though he's avoiding everyone, in which case why would he have come to class today at all? I stand and pace through the campus gardens, borrowing shade from the hedgerows as I consider whether I should keep up the search or let Elm be and turn my focus elsewhere. Perhaps I ought to reach out to another jeweler. So if Dolus calls on me again... Well, he's had his chance. Oh, Lucy, is there another villain in need of reprimand? It's nothing that drastic. I have it all sorted out before long, provided that my brother doesn't fuss over me every step of the way. He's showing his concern as best as he should. As best he knows how. I'm sorry. You finished your class for the day, haven't you? I happened to have a free moment, and I was planning to take a walk into town. I'd be delighted to have you join me. Ambrose offers me his elbow and space beneath his parasol, a gentle but not less insistent invitation. He's far more considerate than his husband. Honestly, Nemo could at least ask before showing up to herd me like a wandering goat.
Oh, so it's Nemo's husband. Okay. Slowly understanding whom is who.
I take Ambrose's arm and follow to step alongside the headmaster as he walks beneath the university's grand archway and toward the center of the town. I was considering that myself. I won't refuse the company, so I can stay for long. You won't have to worry on my account. I've only a few moments to spare before my next meeting as well. It's been considerably mild of late, so I hear there's a storm coming in from off the coast. Perhaps I should ask Nemo to fix the window shutters instead of tending into the loose floorboards in the storage hall. Your last meeting went well, I take it? Was it the entire board of trustees or just the representative? My Lucy, you're more perceptive than some of the faculty. Ambrose closes his eyes and smiles softly, which I've come to know is a sign of resignation. I know he would traitor, we wander aimlessly and take this time to distract ourselves from business, but I can't let even a narrow possibility slip away. Yes, the board met earlier than usual. That storm I mentioned will make the roads unfit for travel, and many of them have business outside of Laurenburg. I don't doubt that you're curious about the manner of business they each maintain, but I can already assure you that they won't be receptive to your ideas, at least not yet. And how could you know that for certain? I may not have graduated yet, but if any of them have any good sense... It is not a matter of good sense, Lucy. Ambrose sighs as we turn into the busy town square, the sun-battered awnings and ivy-covered eaves keeping us in the cool shade.
Misaki, welcome in. Thank you for the daily chicken.
If I thought any of them might be viable business partners or even small investors, I would have introduced you already. In truth, most of them are keenly interested in the prospect of a cure of vampirism, and their interest hasn't waned over the years, and that's exactly why I'd like to speak with them. They're each from well-established and influential families with ties to industry across the region, are they not? Lucy, they are interested, but they're even more cautious of anyone proffering a miracle treatment. It's too soon. I promise you that I'll arrange a meeting with the head of the Tradesmen's Guild once you have more momentum, but rushing now would only make them skeptical of your ideas. Huh? Do you really think I couldn't convince them? I'm living proof, after all. What room could they have for doubt when I'm testing the cure myself? Ambrose pauses in the center of the street and the crowd parts around us, as if we're standing on a small boulder in the middle of a rushing stream. One of our trustees is also the head of a trade guild. Years ago, his only son took ill while accompanying him on a business trip. The child had a weak constitution already, and his father feared that this new wasting cough and fever might kill him. In his desperation, he listened to doctors, healers, apothecaries, and even a few spiritualists who claimed to have divined a prescription through automatic writing. His son's condition worsened, always seeming to improve only for his fever to soar even higher after each treatment. Desperation drives us to take great risks. Eventually, he agreed to let a surgeon perform an experimental procedure on his son, and the results were not good. His son survived, and eventually doctors discovered a tincture that could help treat his condition, but the surgery left him without the use of his right hand. To this day, the boy's father blames himself for his son's injury. Whether you consider it an unknown disease, an inconvenient blemish, or even something largely beneficial like vampirism, people like him are too cautious of any potential miracle cure to throw support behind anything unproven. I wouldn't! That's hardly the same. I have proof, and you and others can vouch for its authenticity. The truth won't be enough if they don't have the heart to trust it. That gentle smile on his face is so infuriating. Unlike my brother, Ambrose is always forthcoming and carefully crafts his arguments. He's always respected my ambition and my talents, which is why I hate it when he's right about things like this. Though merchants and business owners aren't often swayed by proof alone, Lucy. They want to see the flow of people and markets before they act. It's not enough that medicine works, they also want to make sure people will trust it. Doctors will prescribe it and suppliers can procure it. I wonder if it will be worthwhile to stop taking my pills just long enough to use my blood arts again. All I need to do is prove that I'm a vampire and then... No, I need something more reliable than that. I can feel my grip tighten around Ambrose's arm, but he says nothing. Relaxing again, I take a step forward and he matches my pace. Someday I'm certain it will be as simple for a vampire to become a human as it is to alter the physical changes of adolescence. The trustees are all people of great influence, and I promise that in time they will believe you. There's no need to rush. You make progress faster if you pace yourself. Thank you for your advice and your concern. I'm more than comfortable at this pace, however. I have the groundswell I need to speak with bigger investors soon enough. Speaking of which, have you not heard anything from Douglas yet? He seems worried, far more than I expected he will be overhearing about a missed appointment. Unfortunately, I can't afford such sympathies right now. Not a word, but it hardly matters. I won't waste any more ink on unreliable cards like him. That's concerning. I couldn't understand if he didn't contact you yesterday evening, but to ignore you into the afternoon. Perhaps he's taken ill? We aren't far from his offices if you'd like to stop in. A waste of time, I expect. Thank you, though. I'm grateful, in spite of the circumstances. Ambrose could hardly bear any blame for a jeweler's negligence, though I'm sure he feels some responsibility since he's the one who vouched for Douglas as a trustworthy prospect. I'll consider it, once I've taken care of other business. I'm sure it's a simple misunderstanding. About I'm about to mark the quarter hour. Ambrose waits patiently as the sound fades into the din of the town square, then gestures back toward the university. It seems I'm out of time, unfortunately. I've got another appointment soon, so I'll be heading back. Are you returning to campus as well? No, I think not. I'll see you tonight at dinner, Ambrose. Of course, it should be a crown of lump, provided I'm not held up by the faculty. Goodbye for now. Ambrose turns, and I let the shadow of his parasol slip away, leaving me in the sun. The afternoon crowds have filled the town square, with laborers and tradesfolk winding through the bakeries and market stands on their lunch break. Carriage wheels and newly shod horses leave a dull staccato in the air as they pass one another in the street. Shovels ring one after another, a large fountain bubbles conversationally to the people gathered around it, and in the distance a small crowd applauds. I consider the Douglas office is on the far end of the square, but the sound of a violin catches my ear. Is it what warranted the applause I heard? There is something both immediately familiar and uncanny. I've never heard this song before, and certainly never in this place, but the melody feels eerily nostalgic. I suppose a skilled performer can evoke all sorts of emotions in their audience. Let's see what sort of person this fiddler is. The quick triplets and rich vibrato echo through the plaza, but actually seeing past the gathered crowd is becoming a hassle. A group of taller men in particular stand right in the middle, and I've half a mind to drag them to the back of the audience. There are people behind you, you dolts. I reach forward to pry the wall apart, when the fiddler strikes a sharp chord and leaps up onto the fountain's edge. They raise their violin up, and their fingers dance across its neck. The audience claps to keep time. A bubbling warmth rises in my chest, and I can't look away. They wear a mask, but they are clearly quite handsome. Their slicked back hair shines in the afternoon sun, and their hands cradle their instrument with a fierce delicacy. And the sound, I don't know where they were trained, but they're bursting with energy as if they can't help but draw their bow across the strings. It's enchanting. I've attended a fair number of performances in my life, from full chamber orchestras to unaccompanied singers in a roadside tavern. It's been years since I've heard a performance so desperate and impassionate as this. It's almost as if they're gasping for breath, and that violin is the only air they can breathe. Finally, the middle-aged man, barring my path, steps aside, and I move a bit closer to the front for a better look at this masked fiddler. Our eyes meet for a moment behind their mask. Their bow hangs for a half-beat too long, and they hop back down to finish the song. Before I can find them again, a round of applause rings out, and the people around me plead for an encore. The clasps of an instrument case click shut. Are they leaving already? I need to get their name at the very least. A musician with a level of passion and talent could do better than basking in the square. And I wouldn't mind hearing them play privately for me either. Wait! There's no path forward. Eventually the crowd breaks and people start dispersing in a dozen directions. By the time I reach the fountain's edge, the masked fiddler is gone. I sigh to catch my breath. That's likely for the best. I almost let myself get carried off track. Handsome musicians are a hazard in many ways. I wonder what the business prospects are like for the agents and representatives of popular performers. Aren't you already taking on enough work as it is? Oh, the brother's here. More capable than I was when I was a child, Nemo. More capable of running yourself ragged, maybe? I glare at him. And what have you come into town to fetch? Nemo lifts up a bundle of meat wrapped in butcher's paper. A crown, apparently. Come on, I'll walk you back unless you've still got business here. No. I still let my shoulders sink. Let's go then, I'm getting hungry. You know, this is for dinner, right? Don't worry, I'm not going to eat your husband's crown. Nemo holds his arm out, and I take it as we move through the din of afternoon traffic. In a short while, we'll be back at the apartment, and I need to start drafting more inquiries and preparing samples. I'll consider what Ambrose said earlier. If I can secure a reliable supply of gems, then I can prove the treatment's effectiveness more easily. Is Nemo best boy? Yes, definitely. But that's the brother!
And he's married! Still best boy. Noted.
I consider what Amber said earlier. If I can secure a reliable supply of gems, then I can prove the treatment's effectiveness more easily. The evening will pass uneventfully, and by week's end, I forget all about Douglas' audacity and insult. But at calm, a remarkable future doesn't come to pass. As we went through the square and emerged from an alley, I catch a glimpse of the building where Douglas kept his office. 5 police officers are gathered around the open doorway in a huddle while other officers filter in and out of the narrow hallway. By the way, when I did read the premise, it was not fully clear to me, I think it was me since I'm at the empty today, whether the partner that disappeared was like both business partner and our partner or only business, but now I understood it was the business partner that disappeared.
How did the editor for the game here? Welcome in! You can call me Aaron. Welcome in, Aaron. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Stray phrases catch my ear. One officer says he's been here for a few hours. Another says something like already going cold.
Achata! A corpse.
Found him earlier today, possibly since... Damn, a carriage rumbles past and drowns the rest of the phrase.
Thanks for playing. Thank you for the chance to play through the demo.
I'm really enjoying it so far. A chill sweeps over me, and my feet pull me toward the ominous shutter. No reassurance or comfort are waiting for me in the office. Nor in overhearing the officers outside. Even so, I walk closer. A rush of foot traffic floats into the street as passengers head for the train platform. In the chaos, it's easy to slip away and duck behind an oncoming carriage before Nemo can even notice I've gone. The clock chimes at the top of the hour a moment before I reach the doorway. Outside, the police are still chattering about how hard it will be to cordon off the area and turn away gawkers.
Hope you're ready for a bit of creepy vibes in this scene. Always ready. Thank you for the heads up. By the way, Floppies, if the audio is too loud, please let me know, since I'm not really checking it and I had barely any clue on what is going on at your side. Foxy doing her best, once again.
They don't seem too concerned with all the people passing in and out of the main building too. It's almost embarrassing that they can slip in so casually without drawing a second glance.
I think it's fine. Thank you.
Douglas' office occupies the ground level of a fairly new yet imposing building close to the center of Laurenburg. See if the neighbors have heard anything first, and then finish documenting the scene. Yes, sir. And you there, check the locks on all the windows for tampering. This one's looking a lot like the Fairfield case. I hear an officer's voice coming from an open doorway to my left. He continues, but I can't follow his words anymore. My eyes fall to a prone, rigid form draped across the sofa, near the back of the room. One of the officers steps aside, and the face of a corpse stares back at me with gaunt and glassy eyes. The officer's chatter confirms my fear. The man I was supposed to meet yesterday evening is lying dead in his office with blood caked around his lips and staining his tie. Someone there? Clear out, this is a crime scene! No gawkers! My legs move before I can think clearly. Douglas is dead? How? When? The nearest doorknob is already in my hand. Good, it's unlocked. My chin slams into a low table and I tumble backwards into an armchair. The sunlight stings my eyes, as if I hadn't suffered insult enough. And then my vision adjusts. I've often thought the unnerving sensation of reliving memories in a dream. It's never happened to me in the waking world, too. A grandfather's clock chime echoes through the room. I glance outside and the sun is still high above the rooftops. I clench the hem of my dress. I'm back in the same city I occupied less than a day ago, waiting to finalize a business deal with a man now lying dead less than a dozen feet away. My mind swirls and my memories fray. Was Douglas already dead by the time I arrived last night? Did he die while I waited here, never realizing? On the way in, I saw 5 coppers and inside 3, maybe 4 others. My breath catches in my throat. Natural death, no matter how tragic, don't draw this level of scrutiny. Murder. I like to be overreaching and leaping to unreasonable conclusions, but I can still recall the odd figure I chased through the alleyways last night. Ooh, true. I already forgot. Did they see me? Did they know I was here? Was Douglas being killed as I sat in this chair? Stray syllables leak out of the neighboring room, but I can't hear anything complete. If I press my ear to the wall too... Who's there? I turn my face away from the wall and grip the arms of the chair so firmly that my nails nearly rip the upholstery. Oh, my apologies. I wasn't aware anyone else had an appointment today. This crossing over into the absurd, why is here, and why has he changed his outfit completely since he was in class? I hope you've not been waiting long. No, I only arrived moments ago. Good, I can pour you some tea if you'd like. No, thank you. If I may ask, go right ahead. What exactly are you doing here?
He's handsome.
Smirks. He's never smirked, at least not that I've seen. I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage, if I may.
Ooh. Question mark?
He reaches forward, and before I can stop him, he's lifting my fingers to his lips. Ah, you've met my brother. I'm sorry for the confusion.
Wait, it's not I see now.
Brother? Never mentioned having a brother, let alone a twin? Why wouldn't he have brought it up? Despite the circumstances, I'm sure meant to make your acquaintance. I'm Rowan, currently the head of my family's business and estate as of this morning. At a glance, he looks just like but the air around him is completely different. From the slight smirk tugging at his lips to the confidence in his posture, he holds himself with an incredible assertiveness and poise. I allow him to take my hand in greeting, but I can barely keep track of what he says. Is his brother? Mr. Douglas was their father? That would explain Elm's behavior earlier. He must be grief-stricken, but meanwhile his brother doesn't betray a trace of sadness. Why didn't Elm mention his twin to me? And why is Rowan taking all of this in such an easy stride?
Isn't he a cutie? Yes!
Pleased to meet you, Rowan. My name is Lucy, and I'm sorry for your loss. It's unfortunate, yes, but I've already had time to grieve. Huh? More importantly, I've been settling my father's outstanding business, and I do hope you're still interested in pursuing our options together. At that, he closed his hands around mine and flashes a reckless grin. How brazen! I can see he takes after his father in that regard. I'm relieved that you came by. I saw one of your recent letters among my...
Shut up, Eisen! Poor Eisen.
I saw one of your recent letters among my father's papers, and I was hoping to run into you eventually so that I might apologize in person. And hear your proposal. I'm relieved to hear it about your father. Ron shakes his head, sullen but not unsettled. My father put his work first at all times, even to the detriment of his health. He kept unreasonable hours and regularly worked himself to the point of exhaustion at his desk. So in a way I've been expecting this to happen almost every day for years. A colleague of ours also died under suspicious circumstances recently, so I'm sure the coppers are just taking every precaution. I think my father was always in the greatest danger from himself. My condolences. A weird thing, calling not rests in my stomach. I'm still reeling from Douglas' death, and the prickling unease left my questions about Elma and Rowan. Is their family business even stable right now? Is Rowan trustworthy?
Doesn't seem trustworthy to me, but still, he's handsome. I don't know. Anything I say may be used against me, so I'm gonna shut up. I have to sort it out later. At present, I need to know exactly why the police are here in such force, and I doubt that figure fleeing the scene last night was just a harmless bystander. If you have everything in order, shall we continue discussions of our potential partnership? Unfortunately, the day after tomorrow is the earliest I could give you the attention you and your ideas deserve. The day after tomorrow, that's acceptable. I trust him fully. Do you?
Thank you for your understanding. Even though I fully expected my father to work himself into an early grave, I need a bit more time to make arrangements for his burial. Ron smiles easily, but despite his confidence and aplomb, he can't hide the crooked knot in his tie or stray loose buttons on his cuffs. I wonder if he's taking his father's death worse than he appears. So I still don't see why the police will be so interested in a jeweler's natural death, no matter how untimely. You have my sympathies. What time should I meet you then? You're pretty forward, you know. I'm not fond of delays unless they are absolutely necessary. I want of ambition and charm. Let's meet in my family's manor after breakfast. It's close to the university and we'll waste less time stepping outside for the coppers. Perfect. I look forward to formalizing our partnership then. As will I, Miss Lucy. Ron bows deeply, raising his face to meet my eyes and flashing that reckless grin of his once more. He certainly inherited his father's sense for flattery. In the window just behind the grandfather clock, I noticed Nemo searching for me among the afternoon crowds. I'm not feeling at ease with the police lingering so close by either, so it's time I head back. Thank you again. It's a pleasure to meet you in spite of the circumstances. I'll take my leave. Of course, I will speak again soon. I lead the small meeting room quietly, then hurry down the hall, slip behind the coppers and grab Nemo by the arm to pull him into an alley. Hey, Lucy, what's going on? Where did you disappear to? The glass office. And you couldn't have just told me where you were going? Something caught my attention. Did you notice the suspicious figure I chased through the alleys last night when you found me? Yeah, because that was me. Were you trying to catch a burglar to pass the time? That was you? Well, in any case, it wasn't a burglary. In fact, this whole affair might be more involved than I anticipated. Nemo can be overprotective at times, but he knows when to listen, and he's fairly good at it when the mood strikes him. And so he listens as I tell him everything I saw, the condition of Dola's body, Rowan's sudden appearance, and the murmurs I heard from the police.
So, Toto, who's the best boy now? Is it still Nemo or Rowan?
They wouldn't be putting this many coppers on the scene if they thought Douglas' death was natural, would they? Probably not. I heard something else too.
Difficult question.
I look up at Nemo, and he returns a pensive glare. I know that look pretty well. He's warned me not to dive headfirst into something dangerous. What was it? Heard the detective mention that another jeweler by the name of Fairfield was found dead last week.
It's Gyepi. Gyepi's best friend. Pseudo, welcome me. How are you doing? Am I best boy? Do I have to date myself? How does that work? Are you doing Pseudo?
Weird and cursed.
What does this?
Right? Because like most cards have damage. The only way we lose
Thank
this
you
one is if we
for
get a
the
1/1/1. Or, you know, a pelt.
Thank you
This one.
for the headbutt.
At the trial of power.
No,
we got a pelt! No, we got 2 pelts!
Thank you. Thank you for the headbutt. Crazy. Thank you for the
Clip it.
headbutt.
Oh my god, that's so...
Oni, welcome me. How are you doing, Oni? Too hard to choose? In bed comfy, listen to the best boy. I am the best boy, yeah.
His name was still Best Boy. Ask your mom. What? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Wow, that was savage. 8-ball needs baby jail. You're welcome. Nemo's married. I know, but Toto here is a bit of a weirdo, I guess. Our brother married? Who cares? Best boy.
The detective mentioned that another jeweler by the name of Fairfield was found dead last week. I feel my breath catch. I know that this could be a coincidence, maybe the coppers are leaping to conclusions and there's no connection. But if there is, and if two prominent jewelers in Laurenburg died within a week of one another, who could be responsible and why?
I hope that Gyepi is doing well. We do be here! That's a private topic. No, I'm okay, just a bit tired. Need a bit of rest. Thank you.
Maybe the coppers are leaping to conclusions and there's no connection, but if there is, and if two prominent jewelers in Laurenburg died within a week of one another, who could be responsible? And why?
Get to rest later. Yes.
We talk about possibilities and contingencies all the way home. Not that Nemo knows how to navigate business with the requisite delicacy. We part at the university gates, and for the next several hours until nightfall, I try and fail to find any trace of Elm. What an exhausting day. It feels as though I woke up a full week ago and have been running without a rest since then. Of everything that happened too, I find that there's one in particular that won't leave my mind.
Oh yeah, the choices.
What worries could be on Cecil's mind as of late? I'm so distraught I want to check on him tomorrow, and his oddly relaxing demeanor. What is he thinking that handsome fiddler in the town square?
Can I save? Thank you.
I'll go with the last one. That fiddler in the town square was so enchanting. In the midst of that tumultuous day, that brief moment when I listened to their performance was a desperately needed respite. I shocked that I've never seen someone so skilled around the city before. Had only arrived in Laurenburg recently. I haven't heard of any new performing troupes or orchestral companies passing through. True. I suppose they could be a lone traveler too. That mask they wear isn't common either. I wonder if... No, that's enough. I can while away the night daydreaming about handsome musicians, for heaven's sake.
Fiddler, glad you like them. Yee!
If I'm fortunate, perhaps I'll hear their music again. For now, too, I should rest and recover from today's events. Thinking any further will only tie my brain to knots, and I've not the time to untangle that. And more than that, even these toads can keep the ghastly image of Douglas' lifeless face from intruding into my memory. Sleep will help. Yes, I'll sleep, and I can only hope that tomorrow is a calmer day. Reading through this game is so relaxing. I also love the background music. Very pretty. Nostalgia can be an insidious thing. It's not too easy to hold fondness for memories when the pain of the moment dulls, and you remember only the simple sweetness and thrill. On particularly bright summer mornings, I catch myself getting wistful as I think about the time I spent darting through the empty classrooms on campus, hiding out in haylofts, and scurrying back alleys while I searched for answers. In spite of any excitement I felt 5 years ago, when Cecile and I planned stakeouts to search for my parents' killer, my memory of that time is still stained with tears.
Alright. Since I did not play through the first game, I believe that is where it is recounted.
I'm gonna take a look at the first game eventually as well, to get like the full picture of everything that is going on, and whom is who, and what story they had. Whenever I feel a nostalgic pang as I pass by a classroom, I recall the fun I had roaming free in Laurenburg. I remember how many nights I spent crying myself into restless sleep. I don't even remember my parents properly, and just learning of their deaths devastated me. Tears and clenched fists and bared fangs, a reckless adventure all led me to an even more painful answer in the end. Grief never follows a convenient course, and there are rarely simple villains whose dispatch will close all your open wounds. Alma and Rowan lost their father just hours ago. A father they both knew and spoke to every day. No, perhaps that's not right. I don't actually know anything about Elm's relationship to his family, do I?
Welcome in, Amatix! How are you doing?
Yes, in the first game, Sissy and Lucy solved the mystery of Lucy's parents' death.
Oh, I see. Thank you for letting me know.
In all the time we've known one another, he never mentioned that he has a twin, or that his father was a prospective business partner of mine. I'm sure I mentioned it to him, at least once while we were studying after class. Ron's face keeps coming to mind as well. He was charming, inviting even. If I hadn't seen his father's corpse once before we met, I might have even had butterflies in my chest. A familiar mixture of confusion, excitement, and mystery on the edge of terror fills in the space between my tools again.
Thank you for the headbutt. Twin, what about it, Judo? Thank you for the headbutt. Kobayashi! How are you doing? Thank you. Thank you for the headbutt. Thank you for the headbutt. Is Judo dissatisfied with the fact that there's a twin here in this game? What do you mean?
Sitting on the front of a classroom, I can keep the world of my memory and curiosity from distracting me.
Are you sure there's no secret triplet? Without a doubt.
Ron was so unfazed and moved on so quickly from his father's death. Was the relationship really that bad? If so, then why is Elm so distraught? Even now, I can tell he's barely paying any attention to the professor. So, if he's close to his father, why has he never mentioned either his family or his sibling? Of course, the most delicious possibility could be true. I already entertained and dismissed the notion that Ron had killed his father to take over the family business and that Elm was living in fear of what might happen to him in the aftermath. It was my first and immediate suspicion after leaving Douglas' office, but Nemo and I both agreed that it was unlikely at least. If Ron were the killer, he could have chosen a far more convenient time and method that would draw less suspicion onto himself. I'm not fully convinced that he is innocent, of course, but I'd like to believe him. Perhaps I'm just extending goodwill to him because of my concern for Elm.
Unfortunately, no secret triplets, sadly.
That'll be all for today. We'll be discussing the next 3 ties on currency exchange later this week, and you may call upon me if you have questions in the meantime. Dismissed. Wait there.
Got you.
Yesterday I met your twin, Rowan. A twin brother? Truly? Why didn't you tell us? Does he attend our school here too? I didn't. There's been a lot happening lately.
People lied to me. No.
Yes, I heard about your father. I'm sure you've had your reasons, but why did you keep all that a secret from us? I may be entering into business with your brother, and I want to know. I stopped suddenly, and the rest of my thoughts vanished beneath me. What am I expecting of him now? What is it that I really want to know? I don't know. I'm looks exhausted and anxious. There's a miserable ice weight in the pit of my stomach, and why do I feel so incensed? It's nothing worth mentioning. We should get going, and there's another class coming in soon, and... is that true? Wait a moment, Lucy, do you mean that scoundrel who stood you up is Elm's father? I'm sorry, I need to go. There's an appointment, and backs away as he stammers out his words, his eyes never meeting my own. I reach to grab his shoulder, but he's even quicker than I expected. I'm not sure why, but I expected Elm to be like a bit colder, coming to the approach he does offer us. He leaves us and I standing in the midst of the other students, filtering through the classroom door like water over a weir. Let's follow him. I'm worried about where he might wander. I think I'll leave him to you, Lucy. Cecile gives me a sheepish smile and ducks away. I forgot something earlier, so I'll stop by town to fetch it. Don't wait up for me. Now, is a bit sick, but definitely not cold.
I see.
I don't think Cecile is even listening by now. Is he anxious about excavating family secrets? He hurries away, waving an apology as he goes. Wait, Cecile! He doesn't wait through. There was soot on his knuckles. That closed off any room for jobs. He's absolutely hiding something, and knowing as Cecile he's liable to get in over his head before he realizes he should ask for help. Well, I'm not about to let him leave at that. He's a very kind person, just awkward and often a bit uncomfortable.
I see.
Excepting that, I can see Elm already making his way into the hall. If I lose sight of him now, I may not be able to find him again until the day after tomorrow. Follow Elm. As much as I'd like to know what's got Cecile rushing off so suddenly, I know he'll tell me in time. Elm, though. He should be only a few paces down the hall, and he isn't even walking quickly. But every step toward him feels like I'm walking through lapping waves. I'm anxious. I was too focused to notice it sooner, and now I've only got the span of a few yards to think of what I'll say. I need to know why he kept his twins' existence a secret, but what do I say to someone who lost their father just 2 nights past? Wait, where is he gone? Only hesitated for a moment. He's probably on his way back to his manor, right? Elm? Elm? No reply. Joe expected as much. I'm not in shoes built for sprinting, but I can manage 100 yards at least. I recall the directions Rowan gave me well enough. I should be able to follow the roads there and catch Elm along the way. Unless he's running at a breathless pace, I shall at least be able to catch sight of him before he shuts himself away. And I can easily keep up this moderate pace for longer if I need to. But I don't. There's no reason to keep running.
Decisive. Yes.
I move past a pair of sullen, downcast faces beneath a blooming lilac arbor, and I stop. I'm not out of breath, but I still feel my pulse quicken. I sit down beside the stoic marble bust of one of the university founders on a short pedestal, and I look up through the vines. Perhaps Ambrose was right. There are things I might miss if I rush too quickly straight ahead. The flowers here are lovely. They only bloom for a day or two. They'll be gone once the storm passes through. Beside me, Elm's face is just as graven and dark as the statues keeping watch throughout the garden. His voice doesn't carry a tremor, and it's softer than usual, almost weary. A shame, then. I'm sure Ambrose wouldn't mind if we cut a few to keep before the wind carries them off. Whether the headmaster minds or not, I don't think your brother will let you steal the gardener's shears again. The next thought doesn't form completely in my mind. Em and I both linger uncomfortably for a moment. Em turns as briefly as I reach up. For now, I'll have to do without asking about Rowan. I pinch the stem of a lilac high on the arbor, twist it swiftly, and snap it off the vine. I offer it to Elm, rightly proud of myself. I don't need to steal anyone's shears, fortunately. It seems you don't, Lucy. Ah, he's smiling, at least a little, which is significant for someone like him. So, I'm tasting a slow breath. You heard that my father died the night before last? Yes, I'm sorry. No. It's not... I didn't expect it. I thought it wouldn't happen for decades more. My father wasn't the most present man. He worked from before sun-up to long after sundown, week upon week. He especially threw himself into work over the past several years. I always thought he would work away his grief in time. I wanted to talk to him. It was today that we were supposed to meet. You don't have to say more than you like. If you do want to talk about your father too, I've got a better set of heirs than the founders. I tilt my head toward the marble bust beside us, and Elm chuckles slightly. They're attentive at least. With some effort, Elm rises to his feet and accepts the lilac I pluck it as he does. The sight of him bring the petals up to his nose, smiling at the scent, and then placing the flower in his breast pocket is unexpectedly beautiful. I'm sure I've been avoiding you and Cecile lately. Would you like to walk with me for a while? What? Oh yes, by all means. Thank you for the flower and coming to find me. I hope you didn't expect I'd let you languish here on your own. Cecile would have come with me too, but he had something urgent to attend. Something which I'm going to ask him about tonight. Why did he rush off like that? And this visor is so old and well tended, I doubt even a hurricane could stop them from living year after year. If only it were that easy for us. I can hear bitterness pulling down Elm's quite louder. We walk on through the garden, and soon through the university gates and into town. I take Elm's arm once we're in the midst of the afternoon crowds. He's always a little stiff in these moments. I think he's never been accustomed to human touch. He's told me that he doesn't dislike it in theory, but when anyone else touches his arm or shoulder, it makes him keenly aware of his own body, in a way he's rarely pleased with. I suppose I can understand. I heard some people experience this when they turn into vampires and suddenly have a heightened awareness of themselves, including any misgivings or anxieties they might have. In Elm's case though, I was wondering if it wasn't just that he spends so much time in his own mind that he rarely gives his body a second thought. Time slips by us slowly, as if we're swimming against its flow, walking slowly as the sun drips toward the rooftops of Laurenburg. Once, 3 summers past, Cecile and I walked with Elm through the streets. I forget if we even had a goal or if we were just enjoying a carefree afternoon browsing the storefronts and window displays. We stopped by a clockmaker, one of those old shops with yellowed windows and a faded sign above the door. The brass handle on its entrance was smooth and warm from the weight of 1,000 hands. Elm stood there, transfixed and singularly focused on an open pendulum clock with its shooting gears. A small city moved around its base with personal carriages, and ladies beneath lace parasols shifting at each quarter hour. "Look at it, you two," he barely spoke above a whisper. "Isn't it wondrous to see every part laid out and fit together so finely?" Cecile eagerly agreed, and the two spent a farewell excitedly chattering about the marvels of precision engineering. Though Elm didn't seem as taken with the fine embellishments. Rather than the decoration on each piece, Elm stared at the wheel mechanism as if he were gazing at the night and mapping every star. It's laid out and plain to see. Every piece and part is in harmony. I can almost hear his words from all those years past as clear as the chime of that clock. He's certainly a strange fellow, but a reliable friend and a steady presence. Perhaps that's why seeing him so shocked has left me unnerved as well.
Look in my Discord with which now it's working. Nice! Good job.
Up ahead of us, a young couple walks away from an alleyway stall with absolute glee. A middle-aged man with a brilliant sapphire necklace and matching cuff links is waving goodbye to his last customers and beckons Elm over with the same motion. His table is full of rings and pendants, all set with enormous gems, which is why I'm confident he's a thief or a counterfeiter. Yes, welcome. You two seem to be enjoying yourselves, so why not get something for your boo there? My jaw nearly drops, but mostly because of the quality of the gems in front of me. There's a topaz nearly the size of my thumb, and without a single impurity. I would, but I forgot my wallet. A blatant lie, and why did he think I was the boo? Oh, come on now. You might think these are Prince's treasure, but I assure you they're more reasonable than you expect. You see, sir and madame, these are all reconstructed rubies. We've concocted them in test tubes and grown them to tremendous size, all for less than a miner's monthly wage. Thank you, but we'll be on our way. Reconstructed rubies? Ah, caught your eye? Yes, you see, these are a marvel of modern scientific ingenuity. I'm familiar. I've borrowed a book on the process if you'd like to see it, back at the campus library. They're lovely. Oh no, it looks like he's taken with a pair of ruby hairpins and hasn't caught my meaning. Yes, indeed. A perfect pair of identical hairpins. See how finely the silver filigree embraces the precise cut of the ruby, like stars blossoming on a vine. The perfect gift for a lady with beautiful hair, truly a lovely set, wouldn't you say? They'd be lovelier if one of them wasn't fake. I thought I'd muttered under my breath too quiet for anyone but Elm to hear, but judging by the color now draining from his face, I must have been louder than I intended. The vendor squints at me and leans far over the table, tossing the hairpins toward me. Young miss, why not try them on? No, thank you. Wait, the gems may well be synthetic, but the settings here are finely crafted, and that's a high grade of silver too. The ornamentation on one hairpin is worth more than he's charging for the pair. Lucy? I see, yes. You're taken by their beauty as well, aren't you? Go ahead, try them on. I guarantee you, I've got the finest synthesized gems in all the city. No, you haven't. What was that now? Just as I thought, his cheery demeanor only held up while he thought we might still be gullible. He spread out his honeyed flattery for a seller's rasp. Unfortunately for him, I spent weeks reading the latest chemical research into synthesizing gems. Unfortunately for both of us, really. He's either a thief or a counterfeiter, and either way he's drastically overestimating just how large synthetic gems can grow with the latest techniques. If I'm not mistaken, I think some of these pieces are worth far more than you're asking. You should get them appraised. Otherwise, I'm afraid you might be losing a fortune. Thank you for the offer, but we'll be on our way. Elm has shaken out the distraction on his face, and he shoots a sharp glare at the vendor before we walk away. Now you listen here. Oh, he's grabbing my wrist with a vice grip. I heard you slander my goods. Apologize. Should I apologize for being too generous? Clearly you don't know what you've got your hands on. Let go of her. Elm immediately wrests the man's arm away and stands between the two of us. It's amusing to see the older man shrivel under Elm's gaze. I didn't realize he could be so intense, if I'm being honest. They stare one another down for a moment before the vendor, or thief more likely, lowers his hands and steps back. Lucy, let's go. Yes, and quickly. Enters down the street and I glance back at the likely thief as we go. I only notice the glint of a blade when he's already rushing up to a— No! Watch out! The man lunges and Elm pushes me aside. A guttural shout fills the alley and— No! Elm staggers, he's holding the man back as he winces in pain. He looks over to me and my blood chills until I hear the metallic clatter of a knife falling against the pavement. Apologize, you brats! It's magnificent to watch, in a way. Untwists the man's wrist around, cinches an arm behind his back, with those tacky sapphire cufflinks shining in the afternoon sun, and shows him away with indifference. He makes it look almost effortless. He hits the knife into an open sewage grate and hurries over to meet me. I'm desperate to get back to the shade of the campus gardens. Well, that's more activity than I expected for one afternoon. Are you alright? Are you? I was worried you'd been stabbed. Now glances down at himself, as if he hadn't tried to check until now to see if there was blood blooming on his shirt. I seem to be fine. He had a poor grip. I'm not sure he wanted to hurt me, only intimidate us. He could have killed you. He deserves more than an imprint of the street on his face.
I thought he stabbed him. He didn't. I thought there was gonna be stabbing. Same.
And thank you, I may have antagonized him too much. Not that he had an even temper to begin with. Elm smiles back at me, just for a moment, before it distracts him and pulls his attention away. The street vendor couldn't possibly have had actual synthetic gems, could he? He's likely guilty of more than just a momentary outburst in any case. Those were lovely hairpins though. Suspiciously lovely. Those gems were clearly fake and he admitted as much. But the settings were genuine. What was his game? I haven't heard of any schemes of the sort. Perhaps Ambrose or Nemo might have heard something about this. We're finally back into campus gardens, thankfully. The cool breeze and gentle shade are a relief. I'm still quiet. He's been staring into the distance for some time now. Well, shall we return inside then? My family. I haven't had the best relationship with the rest of my family for a few years now. It's nothing intriguing or scandalous. My father devoted himself to his work above all else, as I said. And since my mother died, he's barely shared a living space with me, let alone a meal. And my brother, Am's eyes dart away, as if he can't help but glance toward the forest on the horizon. He's a fine person. His voice is clearly strained. There's more to this, of course, but I don't want to press him further right now. I might have been too aggressive in questioning him this morning. To focus on the shock of learning of Douglas' death, and Elm's relation to him, too oblivious to the pain it was causing Elm. I'm sorry for not telling you about them. It's well within your right. You don't have to say anything more if you dread or not. He nods slightly, and for a time, we simply stand beneath the arbor of lilac blossoms. Tomorrow I'll meet Rowan and discuss a potential business partnership. I should likely ask around about that strange vendor too, in case there's something stirring in the city's jewelry market. For now, however, I can't seem to focus on anything but the distance in Elm's face. It's as though he's gone away and left himself here, like he visits a memory. About chimes and signals the top of the hour, breaking us both free from the garden's calm. I've got to prepare for my meeting with Rowan still, and I'm curious to hear if there's been any word on why the Cobbers are so interested in Douglas' death. I've got another glass, Lucy. His hand slides over mine as he gently pulls his arm away from me. Thank you for finding me here today. Of course. I must look like an utter fool being flustered so easily. Elm's voice is so soothing, I almost forgot myself for a moment. I've got preparations of my own, so we'll speak again tomorrow. Take care, Elm. He nods, though I'm not sure he heard me completely. Night falls quickly, and then seems to stretch on for ages. To Ambrose's dinner of cocoa vine, and beyond my heart scrolling on ledger paper in the low lamplight. I fell into bed just before midnight with very little to show for the hours I spent poring over my correspondence with Douglas. My mind keeps wandering as I read his letters again, as much to Elm and his grief as to the strange suddenness of Douglas' death. And if that weren't enough to contend with, the odd words from that vendor this afternoon still bother me a good deal. Focus, I need to clear my thoughts or I won't be prepared for negotiations with Rowan tomorrow. I can only hope that sleep finds me soon.
Oh, that's it! No! It ended! It was so good! I enjoyed it so much!
Thank you for playing the demo for Crimson Waves on the Emerald Sea Amaranthine Moon. If you want to help improve the final game, fill out our demo survey. It's anonymous and helps us a lot. You can also support our development by signing up for our newsletter or wishlisting this game on Steam. Either way, thanks for checking out the demo.
That's so good! Floppies, if you're interested about the game, remember to wishlist it. It has helped the developers a lot. Also, I'm gonna fetch the links once again for you. So here you may check out the socials of the developers and follow up on the progress of the game. It was a rather short stream today, but as I mentioned, I want to keep the things a bit calmer for now, since I may be in need of a rest to slow down a tiny bit. Wishlists are much appreciated if you enjoyed the sneak peek. Yeah. Do it, floppies! If you're interested in the game, go check it out, wishlist it. I really enjoyed it. I think I do prefer even though Rowan is also pretty cool, and also I'm curious about the guy that was playing the violin. Was it? Yeah. I think today's stream is gonna be ending here pretty much. I'm gonna once again note down the time that is left, so I'm gonna distribute it evenly over the upcoming week. So that we do catch up a bit. And in the middle, the fox does rest a bit. So yeah, thank you so much for stopping by. We'll be really happy that folks have enjoyed all the boys. Yay! Best boy, the brother that is married. Turtle, you Kev. Incredible. You could dress best boy Gyepi? Oh, I'm the best boy as well. Thank you. I already forgot about that. I like the brother, but to me, he is running around us a tad too much. A tad oppressive, I would say. I need my space. Yeah, Floppis, thank you so much for stopping by today. It's a really short stream compared to the others of our SUBATHON. And the upcoming week, I did reschedule the games that I was supposed to play today. That are... Give me just a second. Yeah, we're gonna be playing Snow-Kissed Romance demo. And also Pro-Odyssey. As last day of Otome Game Celebration Showcase. Not showcase. Not this again. Why did this tongue slip return? I want to die. I'm not gonna speak again. It doesn't count, okay? I'm very tired. I didn't have the gay tongue slip once again, okay? Nothing happened ever. Okay. Anyway. Anyway. I was pretty sure I noted down also what I was planning to do the upcoming week. Give me just a second. The most available is also the best. Oh, what? And if you're an Otome fan, please check out the Otome Games Celebration stream. Oh yeah, true. Let me fetch the link. Yes. Well, please. Go check them out. Many games with hot men and cool stories. Yes. I wanted to check what I was playing for the upcoming week since this week we are done. Give me a moment. Okay, so Monday I'm gonna play the Otome games that I did mention. On Tuesday we do have a collab with Rena. Wednesday I'm touching grass. Thursday we do have a collab with Carbon. And Friday we do have a collab with Chantown. So many collabs. Hip. That's it pretty much for the upcoming week. Also, once again, if you do have someone to suggest me... Hotman. Yes, that's me. If you have someone to suggest me to raid today, a small VTuber, perhaps, feel free to let me know. Also, here are my socials and my Discord server if you want to hop on. Yes, to keep up to date with all of my content. And that's pretty much it for today. I'm currently checking on whom I could raid, but if you do have a suggestion, please do let me know. I usually don't ask for raid suggestions. I'm doing it through the SUBATHON. And if there's a small VTuber or a streamer you want me to raid, please do let me know. Okay, I has decided we're raiding Oni. Use the raid message to copy paste. Ta-da! And we're gonna see each other on Monday. Please take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this stream. Hope you enjoyed the game. Remember to wishlist it if interested in the game. Yes, and if you want to try it out yourself, of course there are also choices that I did not try out. So you might discover a bit more of the story. A bit more coming to the different paths and whatnot. Remember to eat your daily food and hop on to the raid. Hop on. We're raiding Oni. Yes. And see you on Monday. Bye-bye.